Oh, we're ready to go. All right. Welcome to the Stunthangar Hangout for um, Monday, October the 16th. And we are 1 week away from Huntersville, which is, of course, at the top of my mind this week. I actually went out and got to uh, do some useful flying this week, this Sunday, to make sure I had all of my equipment in trim and ready to fly. And it turned out better than I could have hoped because the weather was perfect and everything I did to my uh, planes worked perfectly. And so a couple of flights and it's in the bag. All we got to do is drive up there and fly now. So looking forward to that. And I think I posted something about that on the Huntersville thread on Stunthangar last night. So anyway, welcome to our Monday night chat. And I posted the link in the YouTube chat box. I posted the link in the live streaming at the bench thread on Stunthangar. And of course, if you're subscribed to the Stunthangar YouTube channel, your notification bell will supply you with the link to come in here and join me live. And I hope some of my buddies show up. Looks like we got one viewer so far. And so we're here as usual to talk about aero modeling and contests and flashing, crashing, flying, anything else. So feel free to join, and we'll have coffee and talk for the next 2 or 3 hours. Got 3 viewers on so far. Alan Parrott, hey Alan, glad to see you on there. Can you? Minnesota Mike finally gets in. All right, y'all got in early because I think we've had so many people joining lately that some of you have been kind of getting squeezed out, which I feel bad about, and it makes me want to go forward and get that other software working that allows more visitors. But we've been kind of procrastinating on that, so we'll get that going. But anyway, what about it, Minnesota Mike? Have you got enough bandwidth to get in with me live? Or Alan, are you set up with a computer system that'll let you get in live with me? And Ron Haas, as always. Hi, Ron. Our YouTube side's filling up. Need to get some faces over here on my side, but I'm glad to see y'all out there. Everybody enthusiastic on a Monday night, I hope. Man, the weather's nice too. I was looking at the Huntersville forecast. It's going to be like sunny and mid 70s, maybe 80, and 3 to 5 mile an hour breeze. It's just stunt heaven. It'll be great. And Mike says, sorry, can't get in tonight, huh? Oh, well, that's all right. Y'all hang out over there on YouTube and keep Alan company. And I'll wait. And hopefully some of my usual peeps will come dropping in. Alan says, I built a pilot seat and we flew it this past weekend for the Ringmaster Flyathon. A pilot seat. And Minnesota Mike says, our contest is this weekend. Yeah, we got several contests going on the same weekend coming up. But I hope y'all have as good a time at yours as we do at ours. And I think I met Alan at Triple Tree in the May Joe Nall contest, the last day of Joe Nall a couple of years ago. And Alan, I don't think have you ever been to Huntersville? If you have, I'm not sure I've ever seen you there. I've only been a part of Huntersville since 2013. But since October 2013, when I flew beginner, I've been to every contest that we've had in Huntersville since then. And since then, Will Davis has taken over as the president of the club, and he's a really good president and a really good contest director, and that's worked out real well. And I think he does a great job of delegating. So don't ask him if you can help if you don't plan on helping. Right? Okay. Minnesota Mike, looking forward to meeting Charles. Oh, Charles, y'all are going to the same contest, aren't you? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Charles is a cool dude. I don't know if we're close enough to where I'll ever get to a place where we can meet up. Oh, that's okay, Alan. Not set up with a camera. Yeah, you flew with me at Jonal 2015. Oh, and 20. That's right, 2017 too. Never been to Huntersville. Oh well, that's okay. Nobody's perfect. But I'll see you at Jonal in May, I bet. I love that contest because it's only 90 minutes from my house up at Woodruff, South Carolina, at Triple Tree Aerodrome, and it's a day trip for me, so I can just throw my stuff in the car Friday night, get up, have some steak and eggs on Saturday morning, and drive up, win a contest, get in the car, and drive back home. And Gerald's with us all the way from New Zealand. Good evening, Gerald. How are you tonight?
Good, thanks. Hello, Rusty. How are you keeping?
Yep, gotcha. Loud and clear. You're my first video visitor, but we got a pretty good crowd sitting over on the YouTube side. And Alan Parrott is over there. I don't think you've met him, but he's one of my occasional buddies that I see at contests, and just built a plane called a pilot seat. I've never heard of a pilot seat, Alan. Anybody else? You ever heard of a pilot seat, Gerald? I don't know. But I'll have to look up some pictures of it and do a screen share later on if I can find one. So how was your weekend, Gerald?
Oh, it was good.
You get out?
Windy, that's the big problem everybody seems to be having. I was listening to the Friday night one on Stunthangar on Saturday, later on YouTube, and it sounds like you've got windy weather problems there at your team trials and things. But we went out and flew on Sunday, and it was really blowing a gale. And I bought my nice Messerschmitt long ready to practice ready for our stunt contest in November the 18th. But I could only really fly a rough model. I didn't want to risk anything good on a really windy. And apart from my son's flying, nobody else wanted to take a model out and fly because it was just terrible. But we often get that in New Zealand. I'm sure you get that sort of weather here.
Yeah, we do, especially and you're right, in your spring right now too. That's when the weather gets unstable here. It's windy and thunderstormy, and every afternoon, it gets unpredictable when the heat, the atmospheric heating starts changing every day. So that's just the way it is, though. But with control line, it's nice to have a few beaters in the shop to take out on those days when you don't want to fly your nice ships.
Yeah,
but,
my wife had my profile model that I built for her back when she was about 20. When I first met her, I built her this model, and I strapped another motor on it, and I thought, well, we can fly that on a day like today. And I put on a Thunder 25, and it was amazing. For a little motor, the power it put out would have been better than a Fox 35. A nice little motor. But I suppose some of those Thunder Tigers are quite nice motors. The 36
yeah.
About.
Jamie joins us. Hey, Jamie, how you doing tonight?
Hey.
I saw you posted your Firecat on Stunthangar, but I didn't get a chance to read it yet. But Jamie put a video up of that Enya running. That's an Enya, what, 09 or 15? I forget.
19.
19. Okay. But and it's a pretty sweet little running little engine. Have you messed with it anymore since we talked about it?
No, I haven't messed with that at all.
But we're just getting cranked up here. Got you and Gerald on, and we got several guys over on YouTube. Ken Colbert's out there, Minnesota Mike, and Alan Parrott, and several. Let's see. Oh, a Doctor 800. Minnesota Mike says he just picked up a Witch Doctor 800. I've never heard of that one either. I assume that's an 800 square inch stunt ship. Is that right, Mike?
Free flight plane.
Oh, is it free flight? Okay. So with free flight, you send them up and don't have any radio control at all. Not like a soaring a glider where you can power it up or launch it and then drive it to thermals and then drive it back down. This free flight, you just let go and hope you built
Let go and
it.
hope for the best.
It's the most
Pretty much,
powerful.
let go and hope for the best.
Here comes George from Colombia, South America, getting to be a regular around here. Good evening, George.
Good evening. How are you?
We're pretty good. We're just kind of trying to get in the groove right now. We got you and me and Gerald on here, and we got a pretty good crowd over on Stunthangar too. I mean, over on on the Stunthangar chat side too. So yeah, we're just getting moving. We hadn't really hit our stride yet, but glad to have you in here with us. Did you have a good weekend? Do anything fun?
Yes, a lot of fun because I was flying my Excalibur. Also, today is holiday over here, and I was finishing my Mongoose too. It's almost ready to fly.
So you had a long weekend, huh? What was
Yes,
the
3
holiday
days.
today?
Yes, I am trying to finish this one.
Oh yeah. Now let me click you up so everybody can, so the YouTube guys can see you. There we go.
The Mongoose one.
Mongoose 1. Okay. Yeah, it looks like
a little modification. Monocoat, some piece of monocoat, and the fuselage is painted dope and yellow paint.
looks
I
good.
hope that it, yes, but this Sono's heavy.
And it's got a long tail on it too. Funny that it would be that nose heavy with such a long tail. Well, I don't know. How nose heavy is it? Where is it balancing?
I think that with this wheel,
Mm-hmm.
2 inches is now, I think so, for the tail. Another, or maybe a little more heavy.
Yeah. Is it balancing in front of the spar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
From the spark.
Well, I guess
I
it's
hope
better
that
to
this.
start out nose heavy and just see what has to be done. But better to be nose heavy than tail heavy. It's a whole lot easier to
All
fix.
right. All right. I will do that. I will put a little lid in the tail.
Yeah.
Yes, I was working on it.
Well, good. I'm glad you got out and did some flying. I got my I took my twister and my P40 out yesterday to see if I had figured out what was wrong with the leak and put a new needle valve Saturday night, and the twister's FP40 and it started leaking again through the top, a brand new Super Tiger needle valve, and it started leaking coming up the threads and out of the top of the needles. So I set it to where I had a perfect run going, and then killed it and took the needle nose pliers and just tightened the collet so you can't turn the needle, and hoped it would run the same when I cranked it up the next time. And it did. I got a perfect run on my test flight, and it flew beautifully too. That's just a remarkably nice flying engine. But when I get to a contest, I want to know I've got a little bit of room for adjustment if I need it right there when I crank it, so I can't be going around with the collet locked all the time. But let me ask you, people that are familiar with Thunder Tiger needle valves, have you had problems with them leaking up and out the top of the collet around the needle if you don't lock it down tight, or are you able to just snug it enough to where you can still turn the needle and adjust it on the line if you have to? What's the story on that? Because I'm not that, I've had a couple of Thunder Tiger and Super Tiger needles, but not recently. And back then I didn't really know what I was doing. I've always just had OS needle valves. But this one's three was leaking, so I took all of that out and put RTV on it and put it back together, and it still was leaking up around the collet, so I tightened it and it quit leaking, and that's fine. But now I can't adjust the needle unless I loosen it. I don't want to be reaching in there with needle nose pliers while the engine's running. So I'll find out what y'all think about that.
Rusty, is it an original Super Tiger needle valve or one of the reproduced Ukrainian?
It came out of a Super Tiger package.
So yeah, it should be tight because I've never had trouble with them before. When I've used them, they've always sealed well and they've performed well. I haven't had problems with them leaking. Maybe you just need to try another needle in it.
Maybe I do. You know, when I took the old one out and it had one of the short needles in it, and I replaced the valve and the needle and all. So I don't know what's the story on that. Why it might be. Maybe if it fine threads like that, I don't know. I don't think I'd have much success wrapping a piece of Teflon tape around it. That'd probably shred all up and get all in the orifices and clog it up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd try and find another assembly, even if it's one of the ones you get on eBay, the ones made in Ukraine. You're just trying another one.
Maybe I could take the collet off and just leave a piece of tight fuel tube over the whole thing and be done with it. Maybe that would seal it up. That's strange.
I had an old Super Tiger 35 where one of the little ears that the collet sits on had broken off. So I took the collet and I used tubing and a spring, and I soldered a washer onto the needle, and that worked quite fine.
Yeah, a little number 2 washer to compress as you compress the tube as you turn it in. Yeah, that's what we do on the Cox engines. So I might have to try that. And it always seals those other ones, those little 049s that we did it. But I always thought that Super Tiger needle was the end all be all best of the needle valves.
That's what they say.
I like the OS needle valves. I mean, they're strong and rigid, and it doesn't bother me that they have a clicker on them. If you don't like the clicker, you can always take it off and put a piece of fuel tube on it. But you know, one click is usually a fine enough adjustment for my purposes.
Oh yeah.
If you're running on pressure, then the OS one's too coarse and the fuel comes up through the threads if you're running on pressure. But normally the Enya ones where they've got a fairly coarse thread on them and a coarse clicker, they still work fine, especially if you're not running crankcase pressure or bladder pressure.
Yeah. Sterling Archer just joined us. Do we know Sterling? Hello, Sterling Archer.
What?
You just joined us. I was just seeing who you were. How are you tonight? Did you just fall in here with us, or did you join us on purpose?
Joined you guys on purpose.
All right. Well, what's up?
So, what's going on?
We're talking about model airplanes and contest flying and stuff like that. Basically what we do. We gather around here and talk about aero modeling. So what do you do?
What's that?
Why don't you turn your YouTube feed in the background off, because we can hear it echoing behind you.
Uh-huh.
There you go. That fixed it. Okay, he's gone now. I don't think he wanted to be with us. I think he was just checking us out. And my finger on the button.
For the hammer, huh? Driving the hammer on.
Oh, he might have been all right, but you never know. We have had some surprises before, so
oh yeah,
got to be at the ready.
Oh yes, that is.
They wait for me to pick my coffee cup up. That's the signal that my finger's not on the button.
That's when they sneak in here.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking last time. Your cardinal ball was coming along well, and it was looking quite nice.
It is. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm a slow builder, but it's moving along at a decent pace for me. I kind of had to take a a night or two off so I could work on the contest planes, and then I'll hopefully maybe get back to that a little bit. Between now and Friday, though, I'm pretty much in contest preparation mode. So when I get back, I'd like to get pretty quickly to the point where it's time to start painting the fuselage, because I want to go ahead and pick a color scheme and paint the fuselage, get it finished, and then get started on the wing. It's the first time I've ever built a fuselage first, and I kind of like it that way. It seems to be more convenient as far as especially painting and finishing goes. It's such a chore to paint one that's put together, with as masking is more difficult, so just trying a different approach.
I'm building a Magnum right now. I thought I'd do that as part of my winter build in summer because of my hand, and I was doing an ahhing, but I think I'll do it two-piece, just so that I can look on it easier, really. So my Magnum will turn into a P51 by the end of it, with a bit of luck, a rough of sorts P51. But I've really just got to do a lot of sanding and some modifications. I've sheeted the wings.
Oh yeah,
That's all done. But I basically wanted to do it like a P51B.
oh nice. Yeah, I like that style of P51, the B and C. And then later on I fell in love with the D, but I like the turtle deck and the canopy on the earlier ones.
Oh yeah, I think the B's are much better looking, but that's just me.
Yeah. Hey Charles.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. We're just kind of hanging out. Still trying to hit our groove. Got George here and Jamie and Gerald with us, and got Top Brent. I forgot Brent's last name now. I know him from Stunthangar, I think, though. But from Ogden, Utah. UT, that's Utah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's the first time Brent's been in with us. I remember speaking to him on the forums before. And so anyway, kind of getting in contest mode. I wrote a little bit about it on the forums, both of my forums last night, and got a little goofy. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I get a little slap happy on the keyboard sometimes that time in the morning, and go back the next day and look and see what I posted, and I'm like, oh shit, did I really do that? But it is what it is. Everybody knows everybody knows me anyway, so
Yeah, you just do the best you can.
So what's up, Charles?
Well, I went flying today, and I had reversed the sleeve like Wally recommended, and all the power that I had before came back.
Good.
And I had shimmed the tank also, because I actually had needed to shim it. I can't shim my tank, so I shimmed the engine to get a more equal engine run when I go outside or inverted.
Yeah.
And but now I'm thinking that my Venturi is too big. I actually had put the biggest Venturi I had just to see what it would do. I was just curious, and it just accelerates so much out of a corner, like the triangle. It just accelerates. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So I might go back to. I'd like to do a compromise, not necessarily what I had before, but maybe something in the middle. I do like the extra power.
Yeah, it's nice to have it, but then you don't want it to overpower you when you're trying to do smooth maneuvers.
Yes, that's what I was experiencing today. I actually, for the first time, I actually realized it was an 81. Most of the time, it doesn't feel like an 81 with a small Venturi.
That took me a while to figure out when I started getting into stunt, because when I was in half A, it was always power, power, more power. How can we cram more fuel in this thing? And then I'm looking at the control line stunt guys, and they're all detuning things. I would call it detuning,
Yeah,
and thinking, damn, are y'all crazy? Don't y'all want these things just screaming? And then after I started flying stunt, of course, I understood why you didn't want it screaming wide open. But yeah, it's just a different approach. But you don't want the biggest Venturi on there. Alan Parrott asked you a question, Charles. He said, how do you shim an engine?
Oh, I just use aluminum stock. I have a 61 aluminum and like 16th inch and 8th inch, or sometimes something in between. And I have to do that in this case only because I don't have anywhere to shim the. I can't. My tank actually needs to be lowered, and it's already at the bottom of the tank compartment. So the only alternative is to raise the engine, which is the same effect as if I could lower the tank.
Now we're thinking inverted, right? Inverted engine. By raising the engine, you mean moving farther away from the beams?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it. Perfect. Yeah, it gets kind of confusing. You're right. It's best to speak.
When you're working on it, it's on its back. So down is up and up is down. So.
Trust me, I've had terrible experiences going the wrong way for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to speak going away from the engine bearers or going toward the engine bearers. Yeah, so in this case, I went away from the engine bearers to
right.
essentially lower the tank.
Yeah. I've never had a problem with the difference, and I've only had a couple of full fuselage planes, but I've never had a big enough difference in the engine runs from inverted to upright to where I needed to bother with it. The only problem I've had is at the end of the run where it wants to burp on and off and on and off for the first last lap. Then on a profile, I know what to do. I just kick the back corner of the tank out of the way to yaw it out a little. But then when you want to do that inside of a compartment, you can't really move the tank around like that.
All depends. If it's the right size, you can. I mean, you can make the tank a little bit undersized. Like I make my own tanks now, so I can do that. But yeah, you want to still kick it out so that you'll have a better shut off.
Looks like Alan Parrott just sent me a picture. I think it's opening now of the control line. The pilot seat.com. Let's see what we're looking at here. He said he was talking about building a pilot seat. It's taking a long time to load because we got this video going on. So whatever it is.
You'll see.
So Alan Parrott, he's listening, Rusty.
What is the chair? And when the plane takes off, it pulls you around.
Pilot seat. I gotcha. No. Hang on, let me copy this thing and make a picture out of it, and then I'll screen share it.
Yeah, that way you sit down and the plane just pulls you around. You just sit there and spin it, not walking and falling on your feet.
Need a picture of one of these anyway, so I'm making a copy of it now. Pilot seat. I thought he was talking about a dang airplane. Oh yeah. Okay, the pilotseat.com's got pictures of them all over the place. And I'll save this one. Save as. Damn, it doesn't pay to try to surf the internet while you're doing a video chat.
No.
P-L-O-T.
Hey, Alan Parrott, if you're listening, I admire your jigs and things you make up so much. I wish you did more of them or show more of your jigs.
Yeah,
I love the termination you have for the lead outs, and you're just quite an innovative person. I never met you, but I really admire your work.
Pretty cool. He's all Louisiana boy.
Yeah.
He's practically my neighbor.
All right. Let's see now. I'll show y'all the pilot seat that was on that page now. Let's see. Application window.
So how you doing, Jared? How you doing, Jorge and Jamie?
Good, thanks.
Living the dream.
Now
All right.
I'm finishing my new airplane too.
What was that again, Jorge?
I am finishing my new airplane too.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's almost ready to fly.
That's the mongoose.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
are
that's looking
here
nice.
with the yes, a
Hey, that's
little
looking
different.
nice. That's looking
Yeah.
nice.
With some pieces monocoat that I have over here, and I cover it in different pieces.
That'll work.
And then, yeah, I hope to fly next week. Next, next, this this week in Sunday.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, best of luck.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Definitely want to do a bench test. I mean, a bench trim before you go flying, right?
Yeah.
Steve,
Are you familiar with the
Steve?
bench trim, Jorge?
Excuse me?
Are you familiar with the term bench trim?
Bench stream?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
That's,
Yeah, you
in other
basically-
words, all of the things you trim on the airplane before you ever fly it. You know, your balance points and your lead out positions and all of that kind of stuff. That's called bench trimming.
Oh.
That's what we call it here.
Yeah. It's
You
important
understand
you
what I'm
put your
saying?
plane in a safe mode before your first flight, like Rusty said.
check all the basics.
Say again, please.
You do all these adjustments before you fly the plane to put it in a safe mode. So your first flight is
Yes.
really uneventful.
All right, see, I will do that before the first flight. Okay.
Yeah, the main for bench trimming, the main things are first, of course, is the forward to aft CG from nose to tail. You definitely want that balance, and then you want to hang it from the lead outs. And there's two adjustments you check while it's hanging from the lead outs. The first one is to put a little bubble level flat on the fuselage if you can, but make sure it hangs in a slightly nose down attitude and adjust the lead outs aft or forward until you get that. And then the third thing to do is to check the roll so that you can see if it rolls towards the wheels. If you watch the lead edge of the wing hanging straight down from the lead outs, you watch and see if it rolls towards the wheels or towards the canopy, and you can adjust that with weight on either side. You can put heavier or lighter wheels on it to change that. So those are the three main bench trimming items that I do before I ever pick the handle up and try to fly the plane.
Tip weight too.
And tip
I
weight,
didn't
yeah,
know.
Tip weight. We lost the plane because of tip weight.
yeah, and that also will cause the roll this way or that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things are what we call, George. That's what we mean by bench trimming. Is the trimming you can do right there on your workbench before you take it to the field.
And once you get
Very
to the
nice
field, you
tip
do that
because
line
I
pull.
didn't do that.
Hey,
Would you
Tom,
say,
Hey,
happy
Steve,
birthday!
good job.
Happy
Hey,
birthday! How you doing?
I bet you Samantha's just flying on high, just floating on water, ain't she?
yeah, she's happy, man. I could not believe the wind down there. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it was crazy.
yeah. My uncle lives down there. I know all about that wind. My dad went down there for the winter. Wind is bad every day, all day long.
I guess what the
It was-
have there, it's over here now.
Yeah, it was. The last day it was like 18 miles an hour, but they said the day before was 12, 13. It was more than that because these planes were getting pushed tore the ground. I mean, one guy pancaked in, and there was a couple other ones running how they saved it. It was just crazy, missing the ground by 6 inches,
How many
8 inches.
flyers was down there altogether?
I'm surprised more of them didn't go in if they weren't.
Huh? I think it just cut out.
Well, there were 13 or 14, and then Samantha, I think. 13 or 14, and then Samantha. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
now it can.
It keeps saying Chrome is turned off or something. I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. But it was too much driving for me. Oh my God.
I bet.
We left Wednesday.
You see, I would say you could have hung around.
All the way from Michigan, all the way down to Texas. Wow.
Yeah,
well, I think that is really
neat. Wednesday after I got out of work.
Oh,
yeah, we left Wednesday, drove all day Thursday. My phone. I'll try to get on my phone and see if that's any better.
Okay.
All right. Well, how y'all doing?
We're all right. Monday night, you know, but several of us got out and got some stick time this weekend.
Oh,
I got everything squared away for next weekend's contest, so I'm good to go. All I got to do is throw it in the car and go fly.
Oh yeah, it rained both weekends on the Ringmaster down here, and then the day it didn't rain after we had the storm. We had winds that were 30 plus. So
wow.
Yep, didn't get to fly.
Frank Washburn's over on YouTube. He says the Eaglet 50 is coming along pretty good. Had to order more monocoat. He says, see us next Monday, so I guess he can't come visit with us tonight.
All righty.
Probably working.
Yeah, man, he was really clipping along on that Eaglet while we were watching him the past couple of sessions in here. I think I started last Friday night just locking onto his screen so the YouTube guys could follow it. He built half of that plane while we were sitting in here chatting.
Yep. I'll be doing that here for long.
Yeah.
So, Rusty, what did you want to screen share?
I was going to screen share Alan Parrott's pilot seat that I made the picture of, but everything started going to hell when I tried to screen share. Let me try it one more time because it's ready to go now. Let's see, application window. I'm not getting the right application to show it. Let's see what happens here. I thought I had it where I could pop it right up, but here we go. Okay, now we can see it. That's it. Well, it's probably got pretty good bearing. You know, it looks simple, but it's got to have really good bearings and balance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I believe that, you know, you assist it with your feet, I guess, if you want to turn, but the plane on a good day should turn it if it's you know, got really good bearings and balance. So yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know, you know, my hips don't start feeling better. I might be sitting in one of those things pretty soon too, but you'd have a hard time flying a Pampa contest with something like that.
I've seen a guy take a hover round and fly.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Control. Yeah. The stick on the hover around.
Yeah. He's got a little joystick and he goes right with it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. I need to get me a little rascal and sit there in the middle of the circle and just do overheads in my rascal.
Yeah. My days of flying on a unicycle are over.
Yeah. I'm too fat for that chair. I'd end up bending, you know, wearing out the bearings or something.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota Mike says it's been real smoky. I bet it has because the West Coast is on fire.
Be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got.
Mike, how far are you from the fires over there on the coast, Minnesota, Mike? I think you're south of them. Oh, Alan says Ringmaster would have brought that 25 turns the chair pretty easy. So that's good then. If a 25, a Ringmaster 25 will turn the chair.
Yeah, yeah.
Alan, you're not flying in a chair yourself due to necessity, are you? Because the last time I saw you, I think you were standing up flying. Or at least you were standing up. I don't know about the flying part.
How am I coming through now to you guys?
Pretty
It
good.
was a hell of a lot better than you did before. Well, I don't know about that, but we can see you better than we could before.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you do look better.
Yeah.
You sound better too, Steve.
I ain't feeling much better. I'm still tired as hell. I mean,
Would you
we
guys?
left Wednesday. We got there Thursday night. By the time we got everything packed, got the car unpacked and stuff, and then went to bed, got up 6 in the morning, went to the flying field, did that. Saturday was a pretty easy deal, but we ended up going to Daily Plaza and stuff, and then Sunday, and then we just took off Sunday right after she flew, and then we got home tonight at 5 o'clock. So
Wow.
seems like we were. Well, that she wanted to stop by Graceland, and we got there, and we were too late to go through the tour, but we got pictures from the outside and stuff. And
You when you guys taking off for France?
next July,
Oh, next July.
yeah,
Well, that'll give you plenty of time. That Tempest looks pretty nice.
that was her Nats airplane this year. We still don't have it. It flew fine there because there's a lot of wind, but it's in dead air. That damn thing does some crazy shit, and we're still trying to trim it out.
What, you mean it gets caught up in its wake and flutters, that sort of thing?
No, it just, I don't know, when she turns out some outside corners, it wants to come in at her. She's always running, trying to save it. I mean, it just loses all line tension. It won't hang out there on the lines.
How long?
You might want to check you might want to check the trailing edge of the stab against the. Make sure it's parallel to the wing.
Yeah, we had
canted just a little bit.
We had
guys
kind of looking at it out there, trying to see if there was a warp in the wing or anything like this.
Yeah, that's
and
another possibility.
We can't find anything, but I call it Dutch walking, and that's an old RC term. Is when you pulled straight up, you could watch the tail wag as it went up, straight up, and that thing, what I call Dutch walks. When I can see it a lot on her squares. She pulls that thing straight up, you can watch that tail wag as it goes up. And I think if she hits the corner right as it wags one way, it comes in at her.
Yeah. Damn, that doesn't sound any fun.
No, so I'm not.
That's some of those trim problems are hard to nail down too.
Yeah, some of them can be. Yeah.
And well, we're 1 and 2 is that if the brake of the engine's not doing it, I'm going to put a pipe on it, see if we can control how it brakes, because that damn PA40 rear exhaust, it has way more power than what it needs.
But I just, for kicks, I put a large Venturi on it, and I have more of a 4-2 brake, and so I'm trying to figure out which way do I want to go. Do I want to run into running straight 4-cycle, or do I want a 4-2 brake?
Oh, okay. What I ended up doing on the Rich was down there, but on I don't know. I'm not sure if some of the pictures showed us. We flew the SV11, And that's that one that I had to get all the oil out of it, trying to do all that shit before we went down there. And that prop that Jeff makes is a 12.5, 6.5, and it pulls good. And that thing, it just kind of flies in a it kind of sounds like a 4-stroke, but the damn thing breaks so nice. So we got it running really good now without doing any more with, because I was playing with the Venturis and stuff like that, and just did not have enough prop on it. So when I went that 12.5 3-blade, that got me enough prop for ground clearance and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we had one hell of a time getting that trimmed. We had to add 3/4 of an ounce to the wingtip. Wow. How in the hell that thing, by painting it or whatever we did, because we flew the shit out of it. That's why it was so oil soaked. And it was like we lost all the tip weights. I had it all kind of pieces glued in there and stuff, so it couldn't come out. And I knew I never changed it, but we ended up doing that and got that airplane flying pretty good. It was just so windy, it was hard to trim.
Yeah. So you actually got 3.5 ounces inside a tip weight box?
We got an ounce, I think 1 3/4 ounces in it now for tip weight. So yeah, it was
I wonder how it would fly on a calm day. Be about the same?
Well, we're hoping that that this takes care of it. We did a little bit of flap tweaking with it too, and then so that it would hold in their squares. It didn't flap the wing in, so they did that, and they had tweaked flaps, and they put a little trim tab on it and stuff. You got it flying pretty good, but that's my problem is getting these airplanes trimmed right. When they do funny things, I don't know what's causing it.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing to figure out what's causing it.
Yeah, Bob and Chris and everybody there, I mean, they were just watching the airplane and knew what to do to, to trim that airplane in.
Oh, shit.
Is that Tempest you was talking about earlier, that's the Randy Smith Tempest, or is that the old classic Tempest?
That's the Randy Smith Tempest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 40 size, actually. We
okay.
Yeah, we got the wings from Bob Hunt. They were a foam core, and I did it like I did these other ones by putting that carbon fiber strips in it. And then we ended up having it look like open bays and monoconed it on the wings and stuff, and so that part all worked good. It's just with the engine run and getting it trimmed out right. We're getting close now, but so hopefully I will take it over to Chris Rudd's house there in Chicago, and he's going to do some more trimming on it because we're planning on going to Florida for winter vacation, or winter break or whatever, so we can get more flying and get it ready for the World Championships. And then we're going to start working on a take-apart airplane. And hopefully that's ready by spring break, so we're going to head down someplace down south. I don't want to go all the way to Florida because of all the drive time, but hopefully someplace that'll be warm enough in March to fly.
What take-apart are you thinking about building?
It's going to be, I forget what Chris calls his airplane, but it's going to be like 92% of Chris's airplane. So about 630 square inches instead of 700 and something. They're gonna shrink it down a little bit for Samantha because like them heavy winds and stuff like that. I mean, it just pulls her off her feet. I mean, full size guys down there their hands were, you could see there was no color in them from holding that handle so hard and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we're kind of worried about there at the World Championships. So,
boy,
hopefully that'll all work.
You guys got to get visas?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and do that, get that going. And then I guess they set up the motels and all this. And when we find out that, then we'll get our tickets and stuff ready. So we're kind of down there on the same time.
So does the AMA pay for your accommodations and your tickets when you're on the world team, or is it out of pocket yourself?
Well, it's 125 to even registered to fly in it. And then you got to they give us, I don't even know how much money they give us towards the motel. It's not a whole lot. I think it's just enough for like 4 or 5 days right when the flying's going on. But they're saying that we need to go down at least 4 days early to get used to the time change.
Right.
So we have to do that. So then we got to pick up the motel days. If we rent a car, then that's on us, and we get back and forth to the field.
Take a motorcyclette. Vroom, vroom. Last long time.
Dave Fitzgerald won the World Championship in France before, so and that's why the Thundergazer is kind of a popular plane.
Yeah.
For that wind.
The World Championship comes around every other year, right? Every 2 years? Or
Yeah,
is it
every years.
Every how many?
Every 2 years, yep.
2 years, yeah. So when was Australia? Was that 2015?
No, 26. That was last year, 2016.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Damn, these years just fly by in a hurry when you're having fun.
Yeah, at least it's during summer vacation for Samantha. So I think all that works out because college won't start till the following month. And it's like now all she did was homework tonight when we got home. She went over to a friend's house and got all of her homework and stuff. She pretty much got it done. She just got back home here about 20 minutes ago, went to bed. But
Australia was a beautiful venue, but from what I've heard, when Sparky interviews Paul Walker and Bob Hunt and those guys, some of the places are not as nice as where we go out to practice.
Right. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Yeah, we wanted to go to Australia, but I don't know. They were saying that because everything is when Samantha's in school.
Yeah.
So we worked on first. We couldn't get off the 2 weeks to go there for the contest. So we ended up not going to the qualifier. But everybody says don't worry about the qualifier because the president of the AMA can appoint her. So we didn't. We worked on that. Well, once we found out, because they went through a new online school, that they would let her take 2 weeks of online school. And so once we could do that, then the FAI wouldn't let the president can't put her in because she wasn't at the qualifier. So we didn't get to go.
Oh, wow.
But we had that all worked out finally at the end, but all I had to do was everything is during school. And the deal in Australia was during final exam week.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah. But they were going to let her take all of her finals online. But
wow, trying to take the finals and trying to fly, and wow, that's just a lot. That's a lot on your plate right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure for a 17-year-old too.
Yeah. Doggone.
Yeah, she'd only been 15 then, so
yeah.
Yeah, she'd have been fine though because she had A's in all of her classes and stuff. I know, you know.
And the respect of the school's administration goes a long way to helping you through that kind of thing because they encourage you having a real life. I mean, that's what it's all about anyway.
Well, yeah, once they seen her grades and all that, then they said, okay, we'll do all this. Well, then it was too late because we should have went down there to the qualifier and at least qualified. And then and then worked out the other part. We didn't do it right, so
Live and
We
learn.
learn from mistakes. That's how we learn, you know. That's why she's going this year or next year. I mean,
yeah.
so she made the. I didn't hear the announcement or even read it. So she made the U.S. team, or she's on the junior, or what? What is she doing?
Yeah, she's the junior on the team.
Okay, very good. Congratulations.
How do you
Thank you.
get to be a junior on the team or anybody on the team? You just have to go through trials and be
Yeah,
at a certain
you just had to
skill
go
level?
through that this weekend. Yep, they take the top 3 senior, well, adults or whatever, and then the one junior.
Uh-huh.
So all she had to do is just take off and land, and she became the junior.
Oh, okay.
There was no other juniors down there. But yeah, there's a few people giving her crap about she should fly the whole pattern and stuff like that, and and we're like, no, we ain't gonna do it and stuff. And they're like, well, what do you got to lose? And we're like, an airplane.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's really windy, yeah.
Do you have to fly a particular airplane? I mean, she could have gone out there with a ringmaster and done it, or something if she wanted to. Just saying,
Well, we registered 2 planes. You can register 3.
Oh,
And I didn't know that. I didn't bring an airplane that she could have flew in the wind or
disposable.
but yeah, we could have did something like that, but I didn't know you could do it. I thought it was like the AMA. Once you registered a plane, you got to fly that through the whole AMA thing. If it crashes, whatever, you're done.
Yeah, I see. Okay. All this is new to me. I don't have any exposure to it, so I didn't know.
Yeah, it's new to me.
I know that me either. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people knew that. Oh, shit, the guy that flew the ringmaster there. My mind went blank. But he knew, and he knew that was a good windy air, plane for the wind. And so that thing powered right on through.
What plane was it? What plane?
Joe. Yeah, Joe flew his ringmaster the last 2 flights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have drove up there. It was only like a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, you should have. It was a lot of fun.
I bet it was.
I think the guy in my club had to win. I'm not sure.
I tell you what, Chris Rudd is really flying good. Since he's got that airplane fixed and got some real good practicing time with it since the Nats.
Yep.
I mean, he can fly the shit out of that thing. There's no doubt about it.
He dropped in here with us a night or two, but it's been a long time since we've seen him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty busy. I didn't realize that he's going to be buying a new house and stuff like that, and we're going to be moving again, and I guess they opened up a new building or something where he works. So they had to move all that because I don't know what Chris is president or something of that company or whatever he is. So he's been busy for a while.
Jim Ballard just tossed in Joe Gilbert's name. What about
Joe Gilbert? Yeah, he flew the ringmaster.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Joe, I my mind went blank. But yeah, and he's the one who told us that we could, and we're out 2 planes, and so we registered them both. And then you just got to tell them which plane it is for the pull test. So
Who qualified for the U.S. team, Steve?
Pardon me?
Who qualified for the U.S. team?
Chris Rudd, Rich Oliver, Joe Gilbert, and then Samantha. They'll be the 4.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Was Derek Barry in the mix?
No, he didn't go in. Neither did Doug Moon. They didn't try.
I assume I'll be seeing Derek this weekend, but he's pretty busy with a young family and everything, so that might.
Well, it's so damn expensive. That's the big thing. The expense, shit.
Yeah.
Looking at $3,000-4,000 to go to that thing.
Wow.
So But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I wish they'd been there too. But you know, I went as a kid. You know, he won the world championships as a
Who's that?
junior.
Oh, no shit.
Derek
Really? I
Barry.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I didn't
about
quite hear
Dale?
that. Who was that, Steve?
Derek Barry
Barry.
won
Oh,
junior.
What about
Yeah,
Dale? Has he ever competed on that level?
Who's that?
Dale, Derek's dad.
I don't think so. I don't know. He may have, but I don't. I never heard of anything. You know, Derek, he did. I think he had Dave Fitzgerald. I think he flew in the world championships. You had Ryan Young. He's been the last winner. He won before Samantha even started flying. That's the last time we had a junior at the world championships.
I had the opportunity to meet Dave Fitzgerald at the Joe Nall contest this year. He's a nice guy. I enjoyed the short chat I had with him. You know, always like meeting these guys that we kind of idolize from afar, and then you meet them. You know, you got to remind yourself. You know, they're just regular guys. They just happen to be really good at flying control line airplanes.
yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the first time we ever met him, Samantha pancaked her airplane. She was flying a flight streak, and the push rod come out of the tail. It had that little plastic. It was an ARF, that little plastic thing. Well, that we glued it on there, and it fell off, and it pancaked her plane and broke it. And David and Brett Buck come over, and they had some popsicle sticks and stuff like that. Said, "Here, you know, try to fix it." And we couldn't fix it. Everybody helped though. I had a clown, a Brodec clown, their ARF Super Clown or whatever it's called.
Super Clown.
Right.
We built that on the back of my tailgate of my truck the night before she had to fly.
Yeah, there you go.
That was quite a marathon build.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, glued it all up with CA and stuff, eyeballing it to get stuff straight. Put a brand new Inya 30 on it, and it never did make one full flight because it kept getting hot and seizing up.
Yeah, brand new engine.
Damn thing never run. But that was the first year we went there and stuff. They all helped and stuff. Samantha got third, but you know, I tell everybody I took sixth that year, but she always tells everybody I took last.
Yeah, of course she does. You gotta get a dig in on old dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Old dad totes her around to all these places and has troops building planes to help her out. And dad still came in last.
Yeah, I come in last. But I was the same thing. We never did get a full run on that engine. So I think I got the first flight, I got a takeoff and a landing because it went so lean, it would hardly motor around the circle. It finally just quit, you know.
Yeah.
And then second time, I think I got my loops in and stuff, then it did the same shit. But
Season
we got
up.
the last run for her, it ran a little bit better, and she beat a lot of kids. She ended up third, but I mean, hell, she only been flying for 3 months when we went there.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, she can, you know. But the deal was I had to fly for her to fly. You know, so we both were going to fly at that contest. Helen, I can't fly. I'm like, all right, I'll fly. I'll make a fool of myself. I took sixth.
He took last.
Yeah, that's what she did. Don't be going in cahoots with Samantha. I took sixth, damn it.
I think Sam Lunke is gonna enter beginner this time at Huntersville. Mike Lunke's boy, y'all know Mike. He's been in here before. Yeah, Sam's a natural though. Mike films him out in the backyard with these slapped together combat planes, and Sam's out there ringing them out like there's no tomorrow. I mean, there's nothing he can't do and make that plane go where he points it.
Well, you know, back last year I think it was when he was first starting to fly, and I forget they got him some airplanes and shit. And I told him, I said, well, with Samantha, we got damn slow combat airplanes. They hang out there on the lines. You don't got to worry about where they're at. And
Right.
kids can fly faster than adults anyway.
Oh yeah,
You
they
know,
got the
right.
reflexes.
and that's where Samantha started really flying, was just doing that. And we had 3 or 4 of them, and then by the time she went to the Nats the next year, she ended up taking second there, and I can't think that kid from New York beat her. And then the third year, she won it. But yeah, that really, with the power and stuff, it gives confidence. And then, you know, she learned the whole pattern and stuff like that. When we got back from the Nats, she goes, I'm going to learn a new maneuver a day. And we got back, and she learned 3 some days. Within a week from the Nats, she had the full pattern in and never looked back.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
I remember when I was trying to learn the outside square, I kept saying next lap, next lap, next lap, next lap, next lap. Then I'd go, well, I'm almost out of gas, so next flight. Then I'd go next
That
flight,
outside
next
square
lap.
is my best stunt. Just about, I think.
Yeah.
I could probably fly it more consistently than any other one.
Larry Fruits, he told me that, you know, to do my my outside is I was to fly inverted and then go up, and then that way as you go around, you can get that point to where you're going to head right towards the ground. You know, that outside square.
Right.
That helped.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. What I did to learn it, I did a wing over. At the top of the wing over, I started my outside square. So I had lots of, I did it so high as possible, right?
Yeah.
And then I actually just lowered it, you know, but just to have the confidence that the plane will pull out, I started at the very center of the top, and that worked out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we kind of did with Samantha when she first did hers, is that it was almost a wing over, and then she'd just put it in and pull out high. And once she did it a few times, she started lower and lower, 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 and then
exactly,
you know, and she could do it. But yeah, it's just getting the confidence. I call it, you know, the pucker factor. I just can't get over that pucker factor.
To execute, I mean, to execute is not easy.
Yeah.
You know, just to execute, you can get everything all set up, get your good engine run, perfect weather, but you have to be able to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta just make yourself pull the trigger, and that's where the contest helped me, because when I had a contest coming up, I had to get it done. You know, if I didn't have a contest coming up, I probably would still not have done some of the maneuvers I've had to do. But I've always had a contest ahead of me in the horizon, and it moves up closer and closer, and I just get to the point where I have to execute and just pull the trigger.
Yeah, I tried a couple times. I just can't. You know, I can do outsides loops, but I can't pull that trigger on the outside square. I don't know why.
I'm got a lot. I'd be
One thing
scared
you
trying to do that.
One thing you gotta do, Steve, is don't say I can't. Just say I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. But yeah, next time.
Your brain does no difference between a truth and a lie. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Your brain does no difference between a truth and a lie. So don't tell yourself you can't. It's like I haven't done it yet.
Nice.
And I will do it.
Everybody just thinks I'm up there like the next time, you know. They think I'm just trying to fly at like 45 degrees or higher than that. But I'm doing that basic deal where I'm flying so damn high up in the air, but I just can't make myself go down handle. I'm running the airplane out of fuel way up there.
Yeah. When you pointed at the ground, you know it's doing about 100 miles an hour before that first turn, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what some people do? People talk about different styles of making their shapes, and some people time it. They'll count it off, count, turn, turn, turn. But I don't see how anybody can learn to fly like that, because as the wind changes, the distance between those counts is different. I mean,
absolutely.
When the wind's blowing and it accelerates when you're coming straight down, it's like bang, bang. and then
Exactly.
climb, bang, 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 you know,
Yeah.
and so I don't know.
And then flying.
I think that timing comes after you've done the maneuver. When you're first trying to learn it, you got to just hit it. You know, I did a terrible outside square the very first time. You know, it was just nerve wracking. And then after a while, I learned that okay, I could go a little bit further, heading down toward
Yeah.
the deck. And then after a while, then you can maybe time it. But yeah, that's why they say some musicians.
Samantha talked to herself out there. Bob Hunt, you know, he told her, he said, talk yourself through the maneuvers, you know what you're going to do, you know, down, 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 and whatever. And she's like, people think I'm crazy out there talking when I'm flying. I said, not if you win. I said,
Not
then they
if
want
you
to get
win,
crazy
yeah.
too.
No kidding.
This
Everybody will
movie-
be talking.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I talk to myself too. I absolutely. You know.
Brent says it gives you, he's on YouTube, says, gives you, accounting gives you a good method. Oops, it disappeared right as I was reading it. Where did it go?
Oh, shit.
Hang on. Oh, well, Brent took his message back. Never mind.
Hey, when these people jump in that troll or whatever, can you send that to like Google or whatever? Can't they block them people or their IP on their computers and shit?
No,
There
it's just
must
like,
be some way to track who comes in and out of these after the fact. But while it's happening, you know, I mean, and if you could block them, that would be good. But I think they probably use proxy servers and never look the same and don't have the same ISP. Because this guy that was hitting us a while ago, I'm sure it, you know, it was 15 different names that hit us, but I'm sure it was the same guy.
Oh, okay.
plus he's on for such a short time that,
Yeah.
you know.
And it takes me forever to get the eject button to react when I click it.
Oh,
And so I, you know, I hover over it and I mouse over to it and it disappears and I click it again and it's just not a good setup. If I could just reach over at the name and click it once and be gone with it, it would work good. But I have to fiddle with it. So and then I'll miss the button in my rush, you know, and have to redo it. So it lingers longer than I'd like for it to sometimes. But
see, I'm not computer savvy. I didn't know. You know, I know they can FBI. You know, the FBI won't bother with them people. I know they can track that shit. You know, could be coming from Russia or fucking Europe.
I think it's a bunch of stupid American kids. But this about did it for me tonight. We've been fairly free of it lately, but and we've got that other software, and we talked about using it and been procrastinating. So it's time to get rid of this stupid Google Hangout and start using that other software. So I'll get with Sparky. We'll figure that out. I'm tired of this. Nobody can find us on that other thing because it's private.
You're talking about up here?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's got better pictures, video, and audio too. Everything about it's better, except
I think it is too.
I don't know if we can integrate a YouTube chat with it though.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about that, but
tonight for me to get it to hear everybody and everyone to hear me, I'm burning up my 4G on my work phone, so I can't stay on too long. Otherwise,
yeah, that's costing you money for every second, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but it's worth being able to talk. I mean, most of the time I hear,
yeah,
you know,
and that's what we hear from you a lot of times when you're on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's my wife. I need a better internet carrier, but
man, I got the shit here at the house, boy. I mean, for internet speed now.
Who you got?
Yeah, you're always good and clear.
I got 200 meg.
No
Who's
shit.
Who's the carrier for you?
Mediacom.
And that's your download speed, right? 200 megabits.
No, my download speed is 138.
138 megabits. Okay. And what about your upload speed?
56
megabits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
still
think
pretty good
mine's
too.
like 20 or 30 or something.
I've
That
got
ain't
20.
much.
I've got 25 down and 3 up. So 3 up is what you see on my video. 3 megabits up. So yeah, I'd like to increase that, but that's Time Warner Spectrum, and I'm
Oh,
paying
okay.
nearly $200 a month for that service.
Well, maybe if I lost some weight, I wouldn't need it as many megabits to send my picture over the.
But no,
I guess
you,
I'm too fat for the internet.
That's funny. That's funny.
yeah, you take you take too many pixel boxes up.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. You
Yeah.
know, taking too many damn megabytes to fill my butt.
Yeah,
That's
well,
funny.
you could stay out of the picture and just have yourself a stick man that you hold up.
That's a good idea.
Just talk in the background.
An avatar.
Make me a stick figure with a cigarette in his hand or in his mouth.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go.
And dress him in some different pajamas every night.
Yeah, really. Tom, where's your robe tonight? What? You're running behind schedule? Haven't taken a shower or whatever?
He's not building.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm running behind. Yeah, I had my birthday weekend, and I had my father come over tonight, and I cooked T-bone steaks and stuff outside.
7, 8.
Yep. He
Wait.
just.
Hey, Wally.
how old are you? What did it say? 53?
Yep. Yep.
Good evening, Wally.
I got you by 5. Hey, Wally.
We're okay, but you're not very loud. You need to turn your mic up or something.
What's up, Wally man?
Well, I just had 4 teeth pulled this morning.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And
That's like
I'm so drugged up, I guess I forgot this was Monday night.
No, well, that's all right.
And
Yeah.
my daughter just called, wished me happy birthday, and oh crap, this is Monday night, isn't it?
no. Happy birthday, Wally.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Well, yours
birthday.
the 16th.
Now you're supposed to get presents for your birthday. You're not supposed to give presents away.
No kidding. My sister says, why in the hell did you get your teeth pulled this morning on your birthday? And I said, I don't know.
I know.
I just wanted it done.
Me and Steve was just talking about
memorable.
steak.
Yeah, steak would be good, but it won't be for me for a while.
Yeah.
Mine's the 14th. That's my birthday.
Oh, we just passed yours then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How old are you now?
6-0.
Oh, it's big.
All right. Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be 6-0 in December.
there you go. Yeah. What's been happening tonight? I have missed like what 2 hours, hour and a half anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
we had to fight off about 25 spam attacks, and
Yeah, that ain't no
Oh
kid.
man.
yeah, it was pretty bad for a while. I was just about to. I'm not going to let them beat me though, so I couldn't see signing off. But I think a couple of people signed out, waited till it was over, and came back. But yeah, that was irritating. But we seem to be past it for the moment, so hopefully
Right
we
on.
can fight on through. And we're just right now really getting in our good groove. You know, it's always a little forced at first, and then the more relaxed we get, the more fun we have sitting here talking. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
kinda at that point now.
We were at Cracker Barrel, and Samantha found a thing. It was a plaque out of wood. It was a wrench, and on it said, "You can't fix stupid." And she's gonna buy it for me, and I said no. She goes, "Dad, you say that all the time, but that's some spammers. I mean, you just can't fix stupid."
No,
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got one of them signs.
You're coming in good tonight, Steve.
Yeah, what it is that I got my phone on my work phone on 4G. I'm bringing it over, so I can't stand very long, or my boss is gonna really rake my ass over the coals
he's
for using
burning
the
up
phone.
his cellular service tonight. But
Well,
cellular can give you some super fast times if you got a good tower next to you.
You know, and I don't. And that's the bad thing is that I got to stay so close to the damn windows in my house and shit to get phone calls and everything else. And I barely got any 4G. So that tells me how bad my internet is.
I've
Wow.
got 4G here. That's what I'm running off here is 4G wireless because our copper network's hopeless. So the 4G works quite well here, but not
no
everywhere
good.
around.
Yeah,
the
you're nice. You're nice and clear all the time. Is data expensive on like 4G down there?
No, not really. It's quite good. The kids love watching YouTube and Stunthangar and everything on the computer because it's so easy and relatively cheap.
Oh,
We
well.
normally spend about
Yeah,
$70 a
Gerald,
month.
you got a great signal tonight. It's better than it has been a lot of times.
Now, Samantha's phone, it costs, I think, $65. And they call it unlimited, but she actually gets 22 gigabytes. But she could burn through that shit in no time.
Yeah. And they throttle you back, I think. They'll slow you down if you start reaching.
Yeah, if you go over
limit.
22, they call it unlimited, but it's not unlimited. And I mean, you know, it's like, man, I wish I could get more. And I'm like, I can't afford any more at $65 for, you know, for just
I pay
22 gigs.
Yeah.
$35 a month, unlimited, and I only have 2 gigabytes. And I don't even go through 1 gigabyte on my phone.
That's about how much I go through. Between me and Holly, we share 3 gigs, and she doesn't use any, and I only use about a quarter of it.
Yeah, I don't watch videos.
I'm on Wi-Fi anytime I'm doing anything on the computer besides navigating or Pandora or something like that. And most of those that uses very little bandwidth to listen to Pandora and navigate and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I just got to be careful because at my lunch hour or whatever, I'll sit down and watch a Stunthangar video or something on YouTube and burn my data. That's about what I'll use it for, but I just pay attention. I get 5 a month, and I've never went over, but I've got real close.
I burn at least 10 to 12 a month.
Wow.
Wow.
And you don't work in an office where they have Wi-Fi, do you? You work out in the field most of the time.
Right. So what it is that this phone's got to connect to my computer. So when they send me work or I send my work orders back in, my time card, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anything from customers, then that's when it's a hot spot, and I can hook it to the computer and then, you know, basically have internet stuff with it.
You still working full time, Steve?
It depends on how busy it is. Some weeks, you know, I'll get in 40, and other weeks I may only get 15. So I just kind of pick up the slack and shit now for the shop. Depends if somebody's on vacation or if we get a real hot spell or we get, you know, once it gets the first real cold weather, everybody will figure out shit ain't working. These factories will have like 20 units. Well, they only need 2 of them, 3 of them. Then they never know until it hits 0. Once it hits 0 and they need all of them, then they find out they don't got heat because no one does maintenances anymore.
I was about to ask if they would just cycle them periodically throughout the off season. Would that not reduce failures when the demand came along?
Yeah, it probably would, or at least it'd tell them that something was wrong. Because we get like, for some reason, bees and shit like that love to build these yellow jackets, love to build nests and shit.
They like the smell of that gas, man.
Yeah, and they'll build these nests inside of the inducers and stop the blades from turning, and the shit won't come on. And some of that stuff just setting for 6 months or whatever, rust up.
Yeah.
Usually
gets out of balance and everything.
Yeah, so we'll clean them up and get them going. But
I had condensation in my line from my vent, because I got a efficiency furnace.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I just turned on my heat pump and ran my heat pump. It dried it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I got here in my house is is a air-to-air heat pump with backup on propane because propane's so expensive. But I end up losing the compressor and shit this year and had to change it out. But it's
I didn't
hard
know
on
a heat pump was a high enough output to handle the weather like you get in Michigan.
Well, they got a better one than I got now. This was top of the line here 7 years ago. And when 410A will handle colder weather and stuff, and it's a 2-stage. So, and it has dehumidification. I can make it dehumidify and stuff because if you get too big in a air conditioner, when you get into cooling, it cools the house so fast it doesn't dehumidify it. And that's the problem with oversizing. Well, for a heat pump, you got to really oversize. And so this system I got, I don't know, my cost on it was like $4,000. But now just the condenser outside on the new one that'll go down to 0 degrees is $5,000 without all the other stuff. So that'd be like a $9,000 system now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
So they've came a long ways with it, and it's. I mean, I was burning $600 a month worth of propane.
Woo!
Yeah, I said, man, I'm gonna go bankrupt buying propane for this.
Man, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so it's about $200 a month for me to heat my house this way. So everybody's like $200 a month, and it's like, yeah, you know, sometimes it goes $250. I said, but it's a whole lot cheaper than $600.
Yeah, that's for sure, man.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole thing is that if I didn't do this for a living with the heat pump taking a crap, then and I did it when I was in Florida getting Samantha a car and stuff. But you know, that would have been shit $3,000 bill. That would have taken away any money I saved having it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it was under warranty, and I did all the work myself. It was a pain in the ass, but I got everything going. But here next month, they hooked me to natural gas, so then I'll have hopefully about $100 a month heating bill.
Yeah, because I don't run my heat pump because electricity costs more than natural gas does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, my
that
house
heat pump
usually costs
will
about
probably never run again. It'll be just an air conditioner from now on because they just ran natural gas down my street a month ago. It's still not to the house yet, but it's supposed to be by November. But I don't think they're going to make.
They'll just bore that right into you.
Yeah. Yeah, they can sure put it in fairly fast. So.
Yep.
I'll get hooked to that. Now I got to change over. At least I saved everything. I got to change my dryer over, my stove, and then the damn furnace takes a special gas valve. I ordered with propane, so that's going to cost me about $300 for that gas valve for the furnace.
Yeah, you know the LP orifice is smaller than the natural gas orifice.
Yeah, and what they're doing now, then you know, so you got to buy their shit. They either sell it in a propane version or a damn natural gas version.
Do you have a set of jet drills?
Yeah.
Just drill them out.
Well, you can't change the spring in the gas valve anymore.
Oh.
For your diaphragm setting?
Yeah.
Oh, in the gas valve. Okay, I was talking about the orifices.
Right. So yeah, I could do that, but you know, when you buy the new gas valve, you tell them it's a conversion, and the jets come with it. Because if you're going from natural to propane, you can't epoxy them in and re-drill them or anything like that. So you gotta get
right. Once you drill them out, they're not going to be for propane anymore.
But yeah, it's like my water heater. It's 10 years old. It was going to be 10 years old. And I'd have to buy a new gas valve for that also because you can't change spring in them. By the time I did that, it ain't worth really doing it for that old of a water heater.
So your stove is natural gas? Is going to be?
Yeah, it was natural gas. So then I bought the gas valve and the orifices for the stove and the dryer. Well, because they didn't make that in a propane model. So I got that just to change back. It's just the furnace. I bought that as a propane model, so now I got to change it back over to natural. And then the water heater, I'm just going to replace because it's so old that it ain't worth changing over.
I went with electric on my water heater.
Oh,
this
did you?
year. Yeah, I had gas in the house for, man, this water heater lasted me 14 years, and with the water that we got and the minerals here, that's pretty good.
Yeah, same with me. The whole thing with me changing out my water heater is going to get it out of my basement. I'm going to have to hire young kids to haul that damn thing out because I'm too old to. It's probably got 500 pounds of stone in it now.
Yeah.
Solid cylinder of granite.
And that's no joke. Yeah, over here our water's so hard they full of that hard water composite. Man, they're heavy.
Yeah.
Man, we had one of the guys at the shop there. They tried to get one out of the basement, and I think they had 3 guys, and the 2 guys on top, or one of the guys on top and the bottom, lost it, and it crushed the guy into the wall, broke his ankle. He was out of work for 6 months, and banged the hell out of him.
Yeah, you can get run over by that stuff pretty easy, man.
But that was a 100-gallon or a 75-gallon or 100-gallon.
Wow.
But that's twice as big.
Yeah, that's a big water heater.
Is that measured in gallons per hour?
That's like restaurant grade right there.
Yeah, for these apartment complexes. The one, I one got me a damn rope. I tied it to the bumper of my van, and I pulled it out of the basement.
There you go.
Yeah.
We hooked it on and just moved it up, and they'd pick up the front of it because it was so damn heavy.
Yeah.
And drug it outside.
Get
Because
you
we
a rope.
tried 4 guys, and we could not get it. It was just, that thing weighed so much, it probably weighed 1,000 pounds.
When you talk about gallons, are you talking gallons per hour? Is that how they're rated? It's
They're rated gallons an hour, but it was a 100-gallon tank. Most people have like 40s in their house.
Yeah.
A 40-gallon tank, and I'm not sure what it'll give you an hour, but it ain't much.
Yeah, it's not much. You're better off going to at least
that. I live in a small house with 1 full bath, and we wash all the time, do dishes all the time, all at the same time, and we've never ever run out of hot water with this heater we've got now. It's just one of those cylindrical natural gas water heaters.
Yeah. Usually they'll catch up for washing and stuff. It's like here, Samantha takes a long shower though.
Yeah.
If I take a shower, then she can take a shower and have enough hot water, probably not as long as she wants, but to get a shower done.
Yeah.
But if she takes hers first, I got about 5 minutes of hot water to dip.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
But I'll probably put in an on-demand.
Hey, those are nice. I put that in my stepson's house last year, and installed it myself, and it's great.
They take a lot of power to run them, though, don't they?
No, not really.
It only uses the power when they need it.
When they need it, when they're cooking the water.
Look at these.
Yeah.
But it's just, the big thing is with them is that you got to have a bigger enough gas line to them, because they will use the BTUs for the few minutes that it's on, and it can rob other stuff if you're trying to run your oven and doing your dryers on and all that kind of stuff.
Hey, Tom, I just saw you muted that guy, but he never popped up on my screen. Just a little blue box that said he was joining, but it's not at the bottom of the stack on my control panel. That was strange. He never came all the way in.
Oh, okay.
I'd ask my little girl to leave.
Yeah.
I was going to just get out of here. Just go.
Yeah, it's too bad, but you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll just let you what my son wants.
So I missed out earlier. Did anybody get to go flying over the weekend?
I did.
How was it?
And I did too.
I
Well,
watched a lot of flying this weekend.
I accomplished my mission, which was to see if the fuel leak on the twister was fixed and if the P40 was trimmed right. And the twister flew great. I put a new needle valve in it and cleaned all that up and resealed the venturi. But turned out the leak was coming up around the threads on the needle and out the top. And I put a whole brand new Super Tiger needle valve in it. And the new one did the same thing. Not as bad, but it was still spewing out of the top of the collet. So after I got it adjusted on a ground run, I locked the collet so that it was tight, but you can't turn the needle. Took it out to the field and flew it. And luckily, it was still set right. So that works, and it got through the full pattern with about 12 laps to spare, which is what I wanted out of that. And I actually flew decent, except for with all my limping and stumbling, I got through the full pattern except for aborting half of the overhead 8 just to be safe. But so I'm calling it ready for the contest. But I wanted to ask people what they know about this thing about fuel coming out of the top of the collet on Super Tiger valves, because I don't want to leave it locked when I might need to adjust it at the starting line,
It sounds to me like Super Tigers have a little plastic piece behind the nut that when you tighten that nut down over that plastic piece will also tighten in that collet type deal, and it will help seal it. Have you got the plastic part in there?
You mean I didn't see one. I have to take it off and look at it.
It should have one, Rusty.
Yeah. Mine's got one. I've got 2 of them needle valves, and I've got that inside that collet.
Hey guys, I got to get off because I'm burning so much data. It's been an hour, so I don't dare to do any.
All right. Good to see you, man.
Yep. See you Friday.
Yeah. Catch you later.
I think I'll find an O-ring and put it up in there if it doesn't already have one, or even if it does, I'll put an O-ring up in there.
Yeah, that might help. But these are little plastic deals that are made for that.
Yeah, they're white. I think
they're white.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, check that out and see. It might be just that you've tightened it down so many times that
no, it's brand new.
It could be worth. Brand new.
Package brand new.
Yeah, you should be in good shape then. You should be able to tighten that nut down and still turn your needle valve.
Maybe it's not in there, and maybe the old one was either missing or worn out. So I'll look at that tomorrow.
Yeah, take a look. They're easy to come by, though. I would think. I've got some here if you needed some. I just send them out there if you needed some. But
I got a contest this weekend, so I think I'll figure out something. But I could try putting a little bead of silicone in there, but I don't want to gook it all up, not be able to get it clean again.
So, a little bit of silicone in there.
A little bit of red RTV, maybe. I think I'd see if you can find a real little teeny O-ring, maybe.
I don't know.
The plastic goes away.
RTV is a bad thing.
So
for that, I think it would be a bad thing. Yeah.
No RTV. It's bad. Now
I used it around the base of the venturi and around the spray bar where it goes in. So that's PVC. And I didn't use any special type. I just used plain old black Permatex. So what do y'all think about that? For, let's say, a month. Do you think that's a month's worth of okay for what I got it on?
Boy, you got me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't had trouble with it.
I don't know. Being a mechanic for a lot of years, anything that's RTV and it's around antifreeze or oil, a bad deal.
It comes off, I know, and carbide is it?
On the tube.
If
RTV, it says oil proof on the tube.
Make sure it's non-silicone, no silicone in it.
Oh. Okay. I think mine's got silicone in it.
I used to make what's called an RTV 736, and that works really well. And there's a there's also a type that gets hard, and then there's a type that stays like taffy.
Yeah.
Where it's hard, but yet it's bendable.
I had to really work on it to get the old stuff off. So it originally had something good on it, I think.
I've found with silicon that it varies a lot.
What did you say, Jared?
Versa 1 and Versa 2. And it's brown.
Here's your window, Gerald.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I've found with silicon it works okay, but not permanently. You might get a month or more out of it. It definitely doesn't work with a diesel engine or a gas engine, but with methanol, it normally lasts a while. I often use it to seal around the exhaust, and it'll last a good while. But if I want something more permanent, I'll use JB Weld.
Yeah.
JB Weld obviously isn't going to come off when you want it to.
No, but JB Weld's some mean stuff.
Yeah, it's great round exhaust sealing.
You know what, though? I tried some of the JB Quick, that's 5-minute JB Weld, and I was not impressed with that. It didn't hold up against fuel.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be heat proof, the Quick one. I tried it as well and had things
use
falling off.
RTV.
What did you say, Tom? Did you say something, Tom?
Me? No, I'm just here listening.
No, we use
James.
TV to seal mufflers on ours.
You guys, I'm going to sign off. I got to get my plane ready to fly tomorrow morning. I got to get some practice in for this contest this weekend.
Okay. All right, Charles. Thanks for coming.
Okay, see you, Charles.
Yeah, man. We'll see you.
I'm going to see you.
Happy trails, happy flying.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
We'll see you.
Yeah, we're kind of a mellow group tonight. Maybe we all ought to sign off early. Let's see what you're holding up there, Gerald.
That's your box 60, huh?
Oh, man.
That's a fork. Yeah, the Fox fork. I was thinking of using that on Magnum.
That's a nice looking engine.
If anybody's used a...
How much that weigh?
I've never used anything like that before.
I've got 3 airplanes with them in them right now. One of them's a gold head.
Yeah,
mine's got the gold head has the plug coming straight out the top instead of, out the angled. Is that one straight?
Yeah, this is the Schnell.
Yeah, that's a straight one too. That's like the gold head, same thing.
Yeah, the baffled ones are the ones that have the angled plug. Is that right?
Yeah, the low compression one, the high compression one had a straight plug, and it was set up to run on FAI fuel, the 80-20 fuel, from what I remember. And they sold the gold head ones here in New Zealand for FAI fuel as well as England. But I've got a mix of straight plug ones and the angle plug ones, and I've used the angle plug ones with no trouble. But I was going to originally use the Eagle in my Magnum, but I thought maybe I'll use the Hawk because it's a little bit more powerful. But I've got an Eagle right here as well.
Do you use just regular RC long plugs in those angled plug engines?
Just regular long reach.
Yeah, here's the other one. That's the
I've got them both.
Yeah.
The one's got the Schnell porting. The only problem with this one, it's got the steel fins, and they tend to run hotter than the one with the aluminium case, the full aluminium case and the drop-in liner. Whereas the Hawk makes a bit more power, but it tends to run a lot hotter because of the gaskets between the liner and the head. It's got the paper gaskets.
That's the Schnurl engine. The redhead is the Schnurl ported engine.
Yeah. I've got one on my profile stunter, the red-headed one, but I found it's more prone to running hot than the other one. So I'd see if anybody else has used the red-headed Hawk besides me. If anybody else is using one in Stunt.
I got one in my Magnum, but it's the gold head.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's the same. I think it's the same head.
Yeah, that's the Hawk box.
Yeah.
There's the Eagle. That's the Eagle, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a similar weight. There's not much in it between the mountings are the same
Yeah.
bolt mounting, same
Yep.
muffler mounting.
Did
So
you bore the extra hole in the redhead tabs?
no, they actually
They
come
come
with
that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
they come with 3 holes. Yeah, 3 sets of holes in the lugs.
Oh, both of them are. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way they come.
yeah,
That's
the
cool.
same carb mount and everything, so you can swap them around, and 'cause they're a similar weight. I might try both of them. I might set it up with the red one, see how it runs, and
What's the
then try
weight
the
on
other.
them? How much they weigh?
They're reasonably light. They're about they're similar to a Super Tiger 60, just a little bit heavier, probably like maybe an ounce or so more than a Super Tiger 60. But yeah, there's not much in it. They're lighter than a KMB 61. They're quite
They're a
light.
lot lighter than the new 60s that they have now. You know, that
Yeah.
you can change the cylinder into 3 different positions.
Yeah.
For you can run it a rear exhaust or left and right. That I've got some of those. I've got one of them in a 60, and I've got one of them in a 70. It's a 75 or 74, and they're a lot heavier engine. So what you have there is definitely the way to go for for control line. They're definitely way better.
I'm looking for a Sato 52.
A Sato, you want a 4-stroke?
Yep.
Yeah, they're out there.
If you guys ever come across one, let me know. You know.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking fuselage you got there.
Yeah, that's I had to widen it a bit to suit the wire bolt
See,
spacing.
that's what I had to do to my Magnum too. I had to widen it out to get to where I could fit that 60 in it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's already set up for a 46, and the 60 is probably just a half an inch, maybe only 3/8 of an inch too wide, but I had to cut new formers like you probably had to do as well, Wally.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I follow where you're at there, man.
So how did you find the 74 running, the Fox 74? How did it compare?
You know what, to tell you the truth, Gerald, I haven't even ran it. It's brand new in the box.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll pull it out and show you next go around, but I haven't even ran it.
Oh, hey, let me ask y'all a question. Robert Ladd just signed on to YouTube. He wants to know where he can see Paul Walker fly in his B-17 a few years ago. He said someone said he flew the pattern with it, and I think there's a YouTube video out there. So if anybody knows, tell us.
He did. He has to get into some of the old Wendy Artnowski videos, and he'll find it. It was, I think, I can't remember, 2000 it's been a long time ago, but you'll just have to look through the videos and he can see it. And he did. He flew the whole stunt pattern. It was unbelievable cool.
So you think if he searches for, what do you think? Search for on YouTube for it?
Stunthangar for him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
But
I wanted to show it to the boys.
It was Wendy Artnowski when they were at Brodax. No, wait a minute. Were they at Brodax? I know they did one at Brodax, and they did one. I can't remember where they did the other one, but I've seen both videos, and he does the whole stunt pattern. So if he looks through the Wendy Artnowskis, he'll be able to find it.
Yeah, hey, Robert,
clear.
Go to Stunthangar. I think you're a member of there. Ask Paul Taylor. He's a CL guy on YouTube. You could go there and ask him too. But if there's a video of that up, probably Paul Taylor, CL guy, posted it. So that's as good as I can think of.
I got a notification today from him.
It's old. It seemed like it was like around 2006 or something. It goes back a long ways.
Well, we're still talking about it now, though. It was pretty significant. And I was trying to show my boys it.
It is. It's really neat. All 4 of them engines going, and he wraps that whole stunt pattern, and it's awesome.
I've never seen it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. In fact, I better write that down.
it's like almost at the very end of one of his videos, real close to the end, and he says, "I got to show you something here." This is Paul Walker when he was flying the pattern with his B-17. That caught my attention right then, and yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, there's a lot of other flying videos of control line scale B-17s, but his one just is a mile ahead of them in the sense of what he's able to do with it. It's so amazing, and the finish is so nice. He really does a beautiful finish on it.
He's done it scale then, huh?
Yeah, he just it was a glossy like a stunt model, but he chose a nice color scheme, and it just really stands out. I remember seeing it. Everybody in New Zealand was talking about it at the time. It was the big rave. Everybody talked about it. I think there was an article in Flying Models or something about it, and yeah, it was much talked about at the time. And when I've tried to find the video, it was really hard to find it, but I did eventually to show my boys who were keen to see it. And my older son's keen to do a B-29, just an electric one, just as a novelty. But I just said, well, somebody's nailed it. They've built a stunter B-17. I think he had 4 FP-15s on it. If I remember, they were running with a pacifier in the fuselage, a single pacifier. But yeah, I can't remember all the details that well now. It's so long ago.
Wow.
How about
somewhere, Rusty, I have that, what number of video that's on. I'll have to look for it, see if I can find it for Friday.
I bet, yeah. I told Robert to ask Paul, so he's gonna look for it, and yeah, I told him to write me a link if he finds it too, because I want to see it too.
Yeah, I got it wrote down somewhere what the number of the video was, but I have to find that notebook even to find out what, if I can find my notebook sheets, because I am not a secretary. Then I can go through them and I can tell you what video that was.
How about who was it? It was Windy who did the B-25 as well.
Yeah, he did 3 B-25s. He's made 3 of them.
Oh, hey.
What size engines are these? Well, like the B-17. What size engines does he have? 4 of them?
I can't remember. Boy, I don't remember, but I know the B-25s he used 35s. Windy did, but this Walker's B-17, I don't remember what they had in them. If they were 19s or 25s, I don't remember. I haven't seen that video for a long time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 15s, because it was back in the day when the limit was a 60, so that he had to come in under a 60. But now you could obviously go a lot bigger. But I suppose that's where it all changed. When you look at Windy's original sweeper, he was limited to a 60. Imagine if he built that 1,200 square inch sweeper now, and he could use a 90 in it. Just how much better he'd be able to sort things out, I suppose.
When did they first start making 4-strokers? Have they been making those as long as 2 strokes?
I don't know.
I started flying. I saw a 4-stroke back in the early 80s.
Yeah, early 80s is when they started really taking off.
Per cubic inch, 4-strokes put out more horsepower than 2-strokes, don't they?
Cubic inch? Well, it all, I don't know.
It's like if you have an airplane with a 40, this is what I've been told, with a 46 engine or a 40 size engine, you put a 4-stroke in it, you need to have a bigger cubic inch, like 52.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, they consider that a 62 stroke is about the same output as a 90 4-stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not.
Actually, I think Sato makes a 50. Do they make a 56? I think, don't they?
I think they do. It seems like it.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 56, not the 52.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well,
people like the
I would think for a multi-engine plane, 4-strokes would be a lot easier to deal with.
All I know is every year I go to Polk City flying event, and there's a guy from Minnesota that comes down, and that's all. That's what he's got. He's got a couple stunt ships with some PAs on it, but he loves his 4-strokes. And man, them things run so nice, and it just sounds great. I just love it. I'd just like to own one and put it on a plane.
Well, let me ask you this: they're less powerful and heavier. So how does that add up to be I assume they're heavier. So how does that add up to be a better engine for a stunt plane?
well, it's the way they pull. Or you're running less RPM, and they run a bigger prop, and they have the torque. They got a lot of torque they put out.
Torque.
So they out torque the 2-strokes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's the answer to my question.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go, right there. That's OS. Which OS is that?
Well, that's the 52.
52. There you go, right there, Tom.
Nice looking engine.
Man.
Yeah, that's the baby right there.
I wish that was at my house right now.
I see. Somebody sent me a manifold from one like that to pass along to have it worked on, and that's the first time I've ever seen one in situ, so to speak. In other words, bolted to an engine. So now I know what I was looking at in that box he sent me.
What type of carb you have on that 4-stroke, Gerald?
I normally just ran the RC carb, but a lot of people run a fixed Venturi that looks very much like the RC carb, but they're quite different to running a 2-stroke, and you tend to regulate your speed, not with the needle, you regulate it with your Venturi size. So you need a way of adjusting your Venturi size. Either you have different size inserts, or you can have a setup where you can adjust your throttle opening, which is a bit more clumsy. But
can't you
years
just
ago,
why just can you lock the RC carb in place and just use it?
Yeah, you can. That's what I did when I was running a 90 4-stroke on a model where the limit was a 62-stroke or a 94-stroke when I made it. This was back in the early 2000s, and it ran well, but it was heavy, but it swung a nice big. My 90 swung a 14.6 prop, and it did it well. It did it with authority, but I had tank problems because of the fact that the carb was so far back. I couldn't really get in a big enough tank on my model, and I really needed to make a purpose-built model that accommodated the 4-stroke better. So it was a 94-stroke with standard RC carb, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed running it, but then I thought, well, maybe it's better to go to a smaller 4-stroke that would be on an intermediate size model, and that's why I got this 52. But I've seen other people around here running 4-strokes, and now I think the problem is electric has a lot of the advantages that 4-stroke have, and they get that consistent run. They've got the torque, so a lot of people seem to have abandoned the 4-stroke thing and just gone with electric. So nobody's really flying 4-stroke control line here anymore. The shift has all gone towards electric.
You need to locate me a 4-stroke 56 then that someone doesn't use anymore.
There's a lot of them on eBay. You just look on eBay and you'll see them come up. But there are some nice lightweight 4-strokes, and the newer generation ones are light, and the best ones are the Sato 82 and the Sato 40A. They're both very light for their size. The 40A is like the weight of a 32-stroke virtually. It's very, very light compared to a modern 30. And the 82 is the same weight as their old 56. A lot of them share the same case. So if you just go to the Sato site and look at what Satos there are, and they'll show all their different weights in their cases, and you go for the smallest case with the largest displacement, and obviously you're basing it all on weight, but there's the 4-stroke forum on Stunthangar. You should have a read through that as well if you're interested in getting a 4-stroke, because that'll help steer you in the right direction.
I don't think I've ever even looked into that forum.
It's quite interesting. But they talk about the differences, the quite marked differences between 2- and 4-stroke setups, and you use a little less fuel, but it's a lot more expensive than compared to a 2-stroke, and electrics just seem to have the advantage now, I suppose, with Steve and Samantha, they've seemed to have gone the idea of to be competitive, you need electric now. So I suppose that's the direction so many people are heading. But personally, I did electric many years ago, and I just like the sound of the two strikes, and I like the greasy, smelly motors and getting castor all over myself.
Now, there's a lot of good reasons to have a couple of electrics in your fleet, but not for just fun flying, you know. I mean, sometimes there might be a site you want to fly where you can't make noise, but and then you don't have to carry as much junk. But I'm like you. I love, that's why I got into it, because it was hot, greasy, smelly, and loud, and
Yeah.
you know, and I just it's what makes my blood warm, you know. So
yeah, if you're into hot rodding as well, you know, I think you've got that background that, from what I've heard, when you
a little bit,
about it. And,
stage 3 mechanic.
And it's like my wife and her. She likes her old cars. That's a into the Oldsmobile. She entered the Oldsmobile in an event. I've always liked my Chevs, and I've got a couple of Oldsmobiles. And you enjoy your cars, you enjoy your motors. Then I suppose that same thing translates over. You like your diesel motors and your glow motors, and give a petrol motor a run too, a gas motor. But yeah, the electrics are just a bit dry, but they're perfect for those applications, as you say.
You don't have to worry about fuel proofing your fuselage either.
Yeah, it's a big plus. The models last, like those electric RC models. If you don't ding them, they just keep going.
Yeah, they don't shake apart like the wooden ones. You know, you have to take extra precautions building them to withstand the vibrations on the internal. What are we listening to?
Some sort of funny feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. You know, taking too many.
Is that us? Yes, it is. Somebody's got their YouTube channel open,
I
but
don't know, man. I was trying to listen to it, and it didn't sound like us.
I don't know what that was all about.
Well, I don't know. This is a goofy place.
That was too much.
There was something strange happening. Yeah.
I apologize for that earlier.
That's funny.
He was showing us that chair, right? Do you remember? Do you remember this? I haven't built it yet, but I'm going to share my screen here. I want to show you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me lock onto you. I lost it for a second. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, now.
This here you could just set in your lawn chair.
Yep. Do y'all know what we're looking at? That is pretty cool.
No, sorry.
Yeah, you sit there and hook a handle and 2 lines up to this device in front of your lawn chair, right?
Yep.
Outside, you're outside of the circle.
Yep.
No, wait. Yeah, you're inside of this. Wait, yeah, you're outside of the circle.
Outside the circle.
Yeah.
This goes in the center of the circle.
This is the pilot, and you control the pilot from outside of the circle, and it flies a control line plane.
Yep.
It's a bit like round the pole, the electric round the pole setup, so a bit like that.
Okay, now.
Except for around the pole, you don't have any action, do you? I mean, you just watch it. But this thing flies with you and put into the handle.
I forgot how to end this.
Yeah, see.
How do I end the screen share?
You just did.
I don't
know. There it is. Okay.
Whew. Those are, I have never seen, I've read about one time, and that's the first time I have ever seen another picture of one of those. And I always thought that was the most interesting thing. And I'd like to try one too. Sit in a chair and watch from outside the circle as I fly the plane around the circle.
Yep.
You probably want to do it on a calm day. You weren't going to have the model blowing in.
That's
well,
true.
no, what you do, you
when
just
the wind blows.
You just sit with the judges.
Yeah.
See, you're on the other side of the field downwind, man. And you just sit there and
you could build a track. You could build a track around the circle that your outfit could roll around on, with that being a bolted to it, and then have your assistants push you around if the wind blows or something like that. But you still couldn't go backwards though. That's the only
yeah.
thing. You can't
Yeah.
backpedal.
Yeah, if you had the plane come in, you're with one of
Yeah.
them, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You just might as well just sip your coffee as you're watching. But wouldn't that be funny? You know you go you know you're flying at an event and you're sitting in one of the judges' chairs, you know, and you do a maneuver and go, well, what did I score on that one? You know,
Yeah.
it'd be funny.
That's so cool.
You know, we was talking about water heaters earlier, and you click on to me, and you'll see a water heater and my shelf of Brodax stuff.
All your dopes and thinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that gear though, don't you?
Yeah, then I got boxes of engines sitting all over my table there.
See, I need a shelf like that with paint, all kinds of different paint.
Tell you what, it takes a hell of a lot of money. There's a lot of money sitting on that shelf.
Sure
I
is.
got shelves like that.
Tell your wife,
They paint is one thing that's on them, but I've got flight boxes on top, and then I've got boxes of props, tanks, engines, and then I've got paints and stuff on a lower one. So, but they're overflowing. I need to reorganize them. I've organized them with Mike and Ike boxes. Those stack actually pretty well, and you know they got the cutout in the front, so you can reach into the hole in the front and fiddle fish around for a tank or a blackwood, a spider or something.
They're called Mike and Ike's.
Yeah, it says candy's in the green box I'm always eating in here.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they come from the store in a box that holds 10 of those, and they make good shelf boxes. So that's what I stack my engines, tanks, props, spinners, all that stuff on my wall-mounted shelves like that.
I use those banana boxes. You know, they like the Bonita banana boxes. They're really strong, so you can put a whole lot of engines or gear in it. They're quite a good way of storing stuff.
Yeah.
But I've got to clear up my parents' attic because it's full of a whole lot of old models and old gear that I know I've got to remove because they're all, my mother's terminally ill, and I've got all these models stuffed up in her attic, and I've been gradually pulling them down, but you know, the heat doesn't help them. That's the other problem when it gets too hot.
They get brittle up there like that.
Yeah. So, mind you, we got one down, that one that my wife was flying. We were flying it on the weekend. And I was thinking, yeah, it's amazing. After 20 years of sitting in the attic, it's been pulled down and it's flying again. So at least it wasn't too unbrittle.
With silk span, that sort of thing.
It was covered in Solartex, but I know the silk span or the silk itself, I've got a model covered in silk and it's gone really brittle. You just got to be really careful touching it.
I've heard about silk.
Dries out.
Yeah, I got one of Bob Zambelli's old silk planes, and if you touch it, your finger goes through it.
Anybody tried that Brodak heat shrink covering? This one here, the Brodak heat shrink.
No, I never have. I
haven't either.
I used Ultra Coat my first covering job, and ever since then I've used Monocoat from then on out.
How come you didn't like the Ultra Coat?
The second time I bought covering, I went for Ultra Coat because it's what I knew, but couldn't find any, so I got Monocoat, and I liked it a lot better. You got to brute force it to shrink it, and it's a overlapping line between shrinking and adhering. But I can shape it. I can brute force it into shape better than I can with Ultra Coat with just an iron. I don't use a gun, and I always do really good jobs with it. And I'm good enough with it to where I can shrink it to a wing without taking all the shrink out of it. So when it loosens up and changes a little bit in the sun or whatever, I can still always tighten it up a little bit. Ultra Coat seemed to lose that ability after I re-shrunk it a couple of times. It never would hold as well. And let's see, what else? Seems like there was something else. But what I do like about Ultra Coat is that there's a wide gap between adhering temperature and shrinking temperature. But that's convenient. But I just got used to it with the Monocoat. And see what else. Something else I liked. I don't know. Ultracoat's been okay on a couple of planes it's on, but that's the Little Satan. I think that's an Ultracoat job, and my no longer in service Little Jumping Bean was Ultracoat, and when I converted it to the refried bean, I put monocoat, white monocoat on it. So I don't have much experience with Ultracoat, so I guess I shouldn't. Oh, I know one other thing I like about monocoat is you can spray a surface with ammonia and it activates the monocoat glue. So no matter what the covering is, you can spray it with ammonia and cut out stuff like flames or whatever with monocoat and put them down, squeegee them down, and they're on there permanently. And ammonia does not activate Ultracoat glue, so you can't do the same thing. So you could put monocoat on top of anything, but you can't put Ultracoat on with ammonia because it doesn't make it stick. And then again, like I said, it's got a lower adhering temperature, but I don't know how that would work for adding decorations. You have to be careful with your base before you decided whether you wanted to, heat it on.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I'm going to get off of here. My eyes are starting to droop.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I got to get off too. My cheek is just killing me.
Yeah,
I better see what the boys are doing. I better get going too. And
That'd have to be
I apologize for our off-topic visitors, but we'll get back on that Appear software and figure out how to work that out. And take care of that for good.
Well, I'll see you guys later. Y'all take care.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate y'all coming.
Monday nights is about best for me now.
Yeah,
Until
as
work squared away.
They're different. Monday nights and Friday nights have a little different dynamic sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'll catch you all later.
All you YouTube visitors, I appreciate y'all.
See ya.
That's always fun. So we'll see everybody Friday. And I know we will not. I'm going to be in Huntersville Friday night. Guess we're going to take the weekend off. Maybe I'll see you next Monday.
Next Monday,
because
then.
Marky's going to be in Huntersville too. So we're not having a show this Friday night.
Well, I hope it all goes well at Huntersville for you.
Yeah, man.
Lots of pictures. Yeah, get lots of pictures.
I'll try to. I always take the camera, but I get so preoccupied I never pick it up. I'll see what I can do. But you guys that watched on YouTube too, appreciate y'all participating. And we'll see y'all back with a flight report next Monday.
Okay, then.
To everybody, thanks for your contributions and fair winds, tight lines, and see you next week.
See you guys.